Why did you choose project management as a career?
Well, I started off as a librarian and I looked around when I was running libraries in government departments, federal government departments, and all the top jobs in Australia were held by men. Now, there's something wrong with that picture. And I was already running a library and I was young, and I just thought I probably wasn't a very good personality fit for it anyway, and they had tried to sack me a few times. But, you know, so anyway, I looked around and there was this new thing called an IT department coming up. So I got myself transferred in there, took a demotion to do it, and lasted only about 8 or 9 weeks in that one before somebody said, you know, this kid's got a bit of spark and life to her, let's put her on a project. Put me on a project as a subject matter expert, they were called. I wasn't, knew nothing, but you know, it was sort of like, and that was in the days when projects sat on the side of organisations. So we had our own culture. It was run by a really, really, really smart guy. And he took me under his wing and taught me things. He actually did it with everybody. He was a natural teacher. And I guess in the government in those days, there was the time to teach. So nothing you wrote ever went out without being redlined. It was a really good learning environment. And I loved the environment of the project. I loved the fact that we came together as a team, we had a single purpose, and we were going to end. And then when there was the first project management courses started coming to Australia, and I'm going back a long way now, he came to me and said, you know, this coming up, which of the guys do you think I should send? And I said, me, and he did. And I went on that course. It was a 7-day residential course in the Snowy Mountains. I mean, just perfect. I learned so many things I was very sheltered up to that point. And it was just like a camp I'd never been to. But I knew during that week, this is what I want to do for my career, because in those days, project management wasn't about the administrivia. It was about actually how do you work the organisations to get things done. And I just knew it. And so I made that decision then, and it's held. Now, originally there weren't project management jobs around because you couldn't, they weren't advertised. Nobody was called a project manager except in construction. So I took other jobs and I became an industrial advocate in the federal government and took on industrial disputes as projects, because I'd figure out what it was that they wanted, and there's some point where they're both going to be happy and then you get them there. And then I took other jobs, and then I got to come to Sydney and work on a project, and it was just, I mean, everything I did. And then eventually I started running my own, but it wasn't until after I'd been doing it for 5 years before I even got a small one, because there was no 4-day course you could go on to come out qualified and think you could ultimately do it. So it was like a very extended internship, which I organised for myself. So yeah, that's why I chose it. And I mean, it's been very good to me. I get to deliver things that matter. I get to meet a lot of people, get to work in and out of organisations. I've worked all around the world, and it saved me hitting my head against any glass ceiling by stepping sideways and building a career that runs up the side of an organisation, if you like.
Your favourite projects? Tell me about your favourite projects.
Gosh, that's like asking you what's my favourite child, really. I guess what I do to find a favourite project is why they're all favourites for me, is because I draw a straight line immediately to who benefits. Not just the outcome, that's important, we're delivering on that, but we're doing that so that these people can have that. I mean, a friend of mine who's got a very big job, a lady, she says every time she's done something just for money, it's worked out really badly. So RNC does it under my guidance to make sure that we're doing it for a purpose.